In the heart of the ancient forest known as Ravenswood, a thick blanket of mist clung to the trees, turning the world into a ghostly labyrinth of shadows. For generations, Ravenswood had been a place whispered about in hushed tones, a place where eerie legends were born and forgotten souls found no rest. Among the locals, tales of restless spirits and malevolent forces had become a part of life, and no one dared to venture deep into the woods after dark. On a cold, moonless night, Sarah and Daniel, two adventurous souls with a penchant for the macabre, decided to defy the warnings of their elders and explore Ravenswood. They met at the edge of the forest, their flashlights cutting through the inky darkness. As they ventured deeper into the woods, the trees seemed to lean in closer, as if trying to shield the secrets that lay hidden within. The first sign that something was amiss came in the form of a distant, mournful howl. Sarah and Daniel brushed it off as the cry of a lone wolf, but the sound sent shivers down their spines. Their flashlights flickered and dimmed, casting eerie, flickering shadows that danced on the gnarled tree trunks. They pushed on, their breath visible in the frosty air. Soon, they stumbled upon an ancient, overgrown graveyard hidden in a small clearing. The gravestones were weathered and moss-covered, their inscriptions unreadable. It was as if the forest itself had swallowed the memories of those who lay beneath. Sarah and Daniel felt an overwhelming sense of dread, but curiosity drove them deeper into the graveyard. As they walked among the graves, they noticed something peculiar. The tombstones seemed to be arranged in a pattern, almost like a map. Sarah and Daniel exchanged nervous glances and decided to follow the trail the tombstones laid out for them. It led them deeper into the forest, away from any known path. The night grew colder, and the wind whispered through the trees, carrying with it ghostly voices. Sarah and Daniel's flashlights began to flicker more frequently, casting erratic beams of light that illuminated strange symbols etched into the bark of the trees. The symbols seemed ancient and otherworldly, like nothing they had ever seen before. Their hearts pounded as they reached a small, dilapidated cabin at the heart of the forest. It stood alone, its windows shattered and its roof caved in. It radiated an aura of malevolence that sent a shiver down their spines. Against their better judgment, they entered the cabin, their flashlights trembling in their hands. Inside, they found a room filled with dusty, moth-eaten books and strange, arcane symbols scrawled on the walls. The air was heavy with an acrid scent that made them gag. It was clear that someone had practiced dark rituals here long ago. The room felt like a portal to another world, a world where the living and the dead were intertwined in a sinister dance. Just as they were about to leave, a sudden, bone-chilling breeze swept through the room, extinguishing their flashlights. In the pitch-black darkness, they heard whispers, not just in their ears, but inside their minds. The voices were ancient, filled with pain and anger, and they spoke of a curse that had plagued Ravenswood for centuries. Sarah and Daniel were trapped, paralyzed by fear, as the voices grew louder and more insistent. Shadows swirled around them, taking form and substance. Ghostly figures emerged from the darkness, their eyes hollow and their faces contorted in anguish. They reached out to Sarah and Daniel, their cold, ethereal hands passing through their flesh. Desperation overcame them, and they tried to flee the cabin, stumbling blindly through the forest. But the forest itself seemed to conspire against them, leading them in endless circles back to the cursed cabin. The voices grew louder, their whispers turning into deafening screams. As dawn finally broke, Sarah and Daniel found themselves back at the edge of Ravenswood, their minds fractured and their bodies weak. The forest had released its grip on them, but they were forever changed. They had glimpsed the malevolent heart of Ravenswood, and it had left an indelible mark on their souls. From that day on, they were haunted by the memories of the forest, by the ghostly voices that whispered in their dreams. They became recluses, warning others never to enter Ravenswood, never to seek the secrets hidden within its depths. But the forest had claimed a part of them, and it would forever be a part of their nightmares, a reminder of the darkness that lurked in the heart of the ancient woods.